an initiative statement, when you actually speak what you're out to accomplish, an initiative statement is more than a slogan. You know, it's more than, quality goes in before the name goes on kind of thing. Or people are our most important product, that kind of branding, marketing slogan. That's not what this is about. And you could see Kennedy's was a fairly long statement. So it's not necessarily something that's said in a quick soundbite. It can be rather long. It's more than talking about a future. In his particular initiative, he's actually inviting people now. I'm inviting you now to work on the fulfillment of this future. This is not like, let's discuss. Congress is now going to go to work and say, are we going to do this or not? Which is working on the fulfillment of that future, the accomplishment of that future. They may decide we're not doing it. Mr. President, we decline. We're not going for this. So it's designed to actually start it now, to start the conversation to start people in, working on, thinking about, engaging in that future. Stay positive, focus on the future that you want. This comes to your question. We want to focus on the future. Initiative conversations are about the future we want, not the one we're trying to avoid. So when you look at the one you're trying to avoid, what's the opposite of it? What's the thing that's attractive about it? People are drawn, people will work against stuff they don't like. So the burning platform, as I was pointing out, it's perfectly valid kind of thing. It doesn't have the same energy as people being attracted to something they want to accomplish. But fear, which most of those are based on, is extraordinarily powerful. It's, that's the fundamental kind of emotional state, is one of fear. They're for a future, not against the past present. So we're interested in being able to build a future. Any of you heard of the flying Wallendas? So there's a thing that Bennis and Nannis in their book on leadership identified as the Wallenda factor. So this is a picture, the current contemporary picture of the flying Wallendas. But on March 22nd, 1978, Carl Wallenda, who at that time was 73 and is the patriarch of the family, fell 120 feet to his death in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And the incident occurred between two high-rise, 120-some foot buildings in downtown San Juan. And his wife, when they were talking to his wife, they were asking, well, what happened? Because this guy, I mean, if you've watched the Wallendas, they've traversed everything that you can walk across at any height. They've pretty much done it all. And she said that in the weeks leading up to this particular walk, he checked and rechecked the tightrope. And she said never in all his years had he ever done that. Her conclusion was he was more concerned with falling than he was with staying on. Not falling is not the same as walking across the tightrope. They're entirely two different worlds. Because to not fall, to consciously not fall, you have to keep thinking of falling and not doing that. It's like, don't think of a pink elephant. As soon as you're told don't think of a pink elephant, you got to think the pink elephant, and then how do you do it? It's like you can't do that. So that's why we recommend you want to find what's the positive side of the game. What do you want people working for? What is it you want them out to accomplish? Rather, because then they don't have to focus on the other side. It's one of the reasons why resistance is, I'll use the term, a waste of time, a waste of your time, is you now have to focus on the resistance and getting rid of that rather than focusing on the change.
So resistance is futile, that statement.
Pardon me?
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile, yes. That's good. So in an initiative statement, it's actually a designed communication. It's an intentional communication in the area of change. What do you want to accomplish? Specifics about what the future would look like and how we'll know when we succeed. That's why Kennedy's edition Land a man on the moon and return him safely tells you the conditions of satisfaction. Land him and return him safely. When do we want it to happen? Specific dates would be great, but in many initiatives, I just have a general arena. Within the next 6 months, within the next year, by the end of this decade, you know, there is some time frame in which you operate. So the time frame is what you would like to have. The more a lot of this gets developed in conversations for understanding, but to the extent that you have some idea of the time frame in which you're going to operate, you want to include that. And then why does it matter? Really, why does it matter? And one of the things that you'll find when you start having conversations for understanding with people around this is that why it matters differs throughout an organization, which means you have to have why it matters in lots of different languages, if you will. Why it matters to teachers is different than why it matters to parents, which is different than why it matters to students. And why it matters to senior management is different than why it matters to employees. Okay. Now, you're going to go talk. You're going to go announce your new initiative. This is where you at least want to have thought about resource ingredients. Not that you've got the answers, but that you've at least thought about it. Who will participate? You know, if you were to talk to Kennedy, well, who should participate? Well, I don't know. I would assume it'd have to be the Pentagon, but I don't know because it's a new thing. But in yours, you may say, you know, this is the thing I'd like to accomplish. This is a time frame in which I think initially who should be involved is this, but I don't know if they're the only people that should be involved. Where will the work get done? Where will the benefits show up? Where will the resources be? Do you have any idea about that? And it's perfectly valid to say, look, I know this is a new initiative, but I don't have the answers for where the resources are coming from. That's what I want to work with you with. I want to develop those resources. I don't know where they're going. I don't know all the people that should be involved. That's why I'm engaging you. I need your help in answering these questions. And how might the work get done? And you want to be careful with this one. What we find is that many times changes are answers to problems, and people react to that answer. It's not that they're against solving the problem. They just don't like that answer to the problem. So it's better to be committed to the solving of the problem and not committed to how it gets answered than it is to be committed to the answer. As soon as you commit to the answer, you do have an issue of what people generally refer to as buy-in, because now you got to sell your solution.